Hey, Grace for Me family. I have a new discovery. So, you know that saying, uh, fight or flight? And it's as if, um, you know, when you face something challenging, most people have um, either fight mode or flight mode. And that means um, your personality will cause you to either, become defensive and start fighting for yourself, or you just drop off the map. You just disengage. You don't communicate. You hide, um, or some other way of just not having to deal with the situation. Fight or flight, right? And usually that is something that is true. Like, people do either or, right? And I think unknowingly, when we use that kind of language, when we're talking to each other about how we handle conflict or challenges, we forget that there's actually a third option. And so I'm going to coin the phrase fight, flight, or not. Because you don't have to fight or flee. You don't have to do either one. You can choose to lean in. You can choose. Now, obviously, that's depending on the threat level, right? Because sometimes it's time to flee. Sometimes it's time to exit stage left, to be sure. And sometimes it's time to fight. But sometimes there is a third option. And that third option is to lean in. And not lean in a way that would harm the other person or exacerbate or make worse the situation, but lean in a way that brings resolve, that offers hope and love and kindness. And so, that's something to consider. That's something to consider. And when I encountered what I encountered yesterday, my nervous system felt all the feelings, right, that would ordinarily induce fight or flight, because that's really what's happening. It's your nervous system that is reacting to a threat. And when you have been a person who has endured trauma or had, negative situations and circumstances that unfolded in your life, and I'm really being careful because the whole trauma thing can be a bit much, right? The language around that, and I'm no psychologist at all, but what I do know about myself, and we know that this vlog is called Grace for Me. It's all about me, not you. But what I do know is that the feelings around confrontation are like heightened, right? I feel that angst in my stomach. I feel that panic in my mind. And my body doesn't always or didn't always recognize that just because I feel that, it doesn't mean it's at the same level as a true threat. And the body keeps the score. The body doesn't know the difference, right? Your emotions sometimes don't know that, oh, okay, yes, this is challenging for me. This is maybe something unwanted or unpreferred, but it's not the same as somebody slapping me. It's not the same as someone violating me, but the body doesn't know that. The body will jump in with the feelings for every situation. My kids tell me all the time, Mommy, you have one mode, one temperature. But it's not that, you know, and it doesn't have to be that. I experienced that challenge. I acknowledged that those feelings were happening inside of me. And my initial thought was to flee, but then I leaned in. And honestly, that situation was not a real threat. It was unwanted and unpreferred, not preferred. I would have preferred that that not take place, but it did. But when I leaned in with grace, unmerited favor, okay? Situation did not deserve kindness, but that's what I offered. When I leaned in with grace, when I leaned in with positive intentionality, meaning I'm going to think the best of this, I'm not going to think the worst, right? When I leaned in that way, things unfolded in the best way. So, the moral of this story is it doesn't have to be fight or flight. It can be neither. It could be lean in. Now, to be clear, again, I'm not a psychologist, right? For me, this is what I'm learning. I can lean in. Now, I need to use wisdom because sometimes it's not time to lean in. Sometimes it is time to run full speed. But not all the time. Not all the time. Sometimes it's okay to lean and sit with what you're feeling. Eva Queen. Lean in, express, communicate, offer grace, right? So, okay. Sometimes I'm just going to choose the not. I ain't running and I ain't fighting. All right, guys. Have a great one. I'll see you next time on Grace for Me.